Welcome everybody. My story is one of my biggest problems with my story is keeping it brief. But I'll centre it around mainly around my health and the love I have for the Mauer family. Back in 2006, when I'd been involved with the Tom Mauer previous company, and during that time, I was a bit of I sort of was a self-owned evangelist, and I was thought myself was bulletproof. And my dear wife, my late wife, she used to try and redirect me and tell me to take care of myself. And I ran a sheep station on my own, and well, not on my own, but with as the manager of it. And I didn't like to complain to anyone, but I got this terrible flu. And it was a shocking illness, and I couldn't work out. And the doctor told me just go home and go to bed. But anyhow, I couldn't do that, and I was working around the place. And anyhow, I collapsed one day, and Early got me into the doctor, and they whacked me into an ambulance and took me straight through to the Albury Base Hospital. Private hospital. And I had a lung infection that causes fungi in the develop in your lungs, a bit like what they're going through now, I think. But it severely reduces your lung capacity, and I was down to 10% lung capacity with this stuff filling up in my lungs. It was like a big fungal. And I was on an oxygen tank for 5 weeks, carrying it around with me like an old man. I was in the Albury Private Hospital in 2006 for about 5 weeks, and my little wife living in a motel down the road. And she'd come and sit with me every day, and also, and to cut a long story short, she used to fill me up with Tom Mauer's previous company's goodies, and every day. And we had to be very careful because they used to watch you like a cat. But anyhow, we got them into me mainly in the bathroom when no one else came. But the whole story was that when I went to leave, I got out of the hospital. I walked out of the hospital, and as I left the hospital, the comments were, "I'm not sure what you're doing, Bob, because what I've been doing, I've done to 7 other patients with the same problem, and you're the first one to walk out of this hospital." That was 14 years ago. Thank you, Tom Mauer. And that briefly is the situation I am in today. And I can't thank Tom Mauer enough. I get so excited about it. I'm a bit of an embarrassment to a lot of people who haven't got a clue. And I just before I go on and read our slideshow, reading about the Mauer family, and we got the 3 Toms. You got Tom Senior, Tom Junior, and then another Tom coming on behind. There's 3 dynamic Toms. And what we're living without in this world today, and I don't know about whether the people in the city have ever heard this analogy, but it was one that was said, look out, here come Tom, Dick and Harry. And that means everybody. And especially they turn up at the clearing sale, and you'd have to have guards on, because Tom, Dick and Harry would help themselves to anything as quick as they could get out of the town. And I didn't want to be part of Tom, Dick and Harry, and I don't know whether anyone else has remembered the Tom, Dick and Harrys, but they all used to turn up at everything. And that was just a brief name, but I'd sooner be mixed up with the 3 Mauers, because what they're doing is nothing for themselves. They're doing it all for us and for everyone that reaches out to them. Now, let me tell you about the company. It was founded in 2006. It's pronounced Sisel, which stands for Science, Innovation, Success, Energy and Longevity. And the other thing I love about Sisel is when you're having a barbecue, what are you doing on there? You're cooking up some raw meat and you're sizzling it. You don't fry it, you grill it or anything. You just sizzle it up nicely, and it turns into something that's very, very edible. And that's what I believe Sisel is. She's very edible. Everyone does network marketing every day. They just don't get paid for it. And this is so true about the Tom, Dick and Harrys. You tell a friend about a good movie in a good restaurant and it's a good psychiatrist and know what they should see, but have you ever been given a referral bonus for any of them? No, but you have been good for their business. And I've done that all my life. I recommend something good and I'll pass it on. I don't keep it to myself. Have you ever done network marketing? Like you have done network marketing and likely do it every day. So why not get paid for it? What a great concept. What a wonderful idea. Our mission, what a lifelong passion. At first glance, we may look at health and wellness company, but we're not. We're a quality of life and lifestyle support company. We're a company with a mission. It's called the Mao Mission. We inform, empower and educate people to make better health and lifestyle choices. The Mao Mission started with a no harmful ingredient story, and this story became more important as the time moves on. And if it's never more important than the very time at the moment. It's about people. It's about health. It is simple philosophy that Tom Mao developed over 30 years ago, 30 years. And you've only got to look at how well he is. He only looks about 30, and I think he wasn't doing this when he's above, but he's an incredible man. And over the past decade, has not only become bigger than he ever imagined, he's spread throughout the world. You know, he's in every country, like Japan. He's in Japan. He's all over the world. It's just amazing, this one individual. In its simplest form, is to help people in their pursuit of health and wealth and happiness by providing the most powerful, revolutionary health and personal care products in the world, and by offering what Tom Mao believes is the most exciting, extraordinary business opportunity ever. Wow, isn't that wonderful? Gee, both Tom Mao and Senior and Tom Mao Junior, 3 times Genuine Award winners for production formulation. In 2020, Tom Mao Senior was invited to be the keynote speaker and asked to sit on the board of the World Stem Cell Congress. What an honour. But what an achievement for a man. You know, he wasn't trained as a doctor, he wasn't trained as... He just come up through the ranks of a passion that the Mao Mission's all about, and that is to make us all healthy. Tom's previous line of products was featured in the book Unreasonable Risk, How to Avoid Cancer from Cosmetics and Personal Care Products. This book was compiled by Samuel Epstein, and I've personally met him at one of the previous company's conventions, an incredible man. The chairman of Cancer Prevention Coalition. This is how our Sisel Safe came about. Tom Mao Senior and Tom Mao Junior are the co-founders of Sisel. Liesl Mao is the driving force for Australia and New Zealand. Tom Junior and Tom Mao Senior and Thomas Mao, son of Tom Junior, 3 generations. This is what I was talking about before. 3 Toms to guide the company into the future. And I can't get on board quick enough to get away from the Tom, Dick and Harrys. So, Tom Senior invested 150 million of his own money building a state-of-the-art 400,000 square foot factory. That's 10 acres. That's a fair bit of land when you look at it. You know, it's a sizable bit of land. I'd love to go there one day. Sisel is a completely debt-free company, formed as a 250-year dynasty trust, which means it can't be sold in the hands of shareholders. Isn't that marvellous? What this means is ultimate security for all its distributors. Talk about buying into a bank of health and wealth. Sisel formulates, manufactures and distributes its own products. The 4 major trends that Sisel focus on are age, reversal, longevity. Now, I'll tell you a story. I was out at the I'll cut this short, but I was out at the Woolworths store the other day, and I walked in at 7:30 because they said anyone over 70 between 7 and 8 o'clock can get your groceries. And I walked in, and the big bouncer sort of bloke came up to me and he said, "Excuse me, mate, come back at 9 o'clock. I said, what's wrong? He says, only between 70s, over 70s in here, mate. Come back at 9 o'clock. And I said, mate, I'll be 75 in August. He said, what? I want proof of that. And yeah, I had to produce my licence. But thank you, Tom Mao. That's working from home, is another one, and we're all working from home. What a wonderful setup. The online global business market, current health threats, heavens above. You know, he's attacking everyone. There's nothing that he's not attacking, whether it's your health, your wealth, or your comfort and living from home. Like a lot of people going around the twist living at home. But if you've got something like Sisel, it gives you something to do, something to get excited about. As a certified GMP facility, now GMP stands for Global Manufacturing Process. We guarantee and test all ingredients from every batch of any contaminants, as well as for the potency of the ingredients to ensure that only the best will pass and become our products. And just on the side there, most of the products that you buy in the general retail outlets, the container's worth more money than what's in it. Well, that's a digressing a little bit, but I'll just let you know that. You probably already know it. Today, our bodies are constantly exposed to heavy doses of harsh chemicals, dangerous toxins, unhealthy preservatives, heavy metals, antibiotics, the wrong hormones, GM foods, and other potential harmful substances. No wonder we've got obesity in the world. Many of these substances come from personal care products, household supplies, and containers we use every day and can actually threaten our health instead of improve it. Holy moly. Tom, Dick and Harry have got to do something. We buy common consumer products thinking that they're making us look and feel younger, healthier and stronger, when in reality they're making us fatter, sicker, weaker, and making us older before our time. I'm getting on top of that, I tell you. The Mao mission is about change. While its core values have not changed, the lives it has changed are too numerous to count. It has dramatically improved the health and positively impact the financial situations of millions of people in many countries around this world. My upline, part of my upline family are Nell and Lil Anderson. And Nelson had an experience a bit like what I had. I think he had a turn, but because he was on the previous, Tom's previous companies, and I don't think I've seen Nelson looking better. I saw a photo of him and Lil the other day, and it's amazing, absolutely amazing. The common consumer products we buy contain toxins that take up the places where nutrients should go, and as a result, they suffer for it. We age faster than we should, and although medicine has given us an increase in lifespan, we have not even seen the same increase in vitality. Now, you see this all the time. I give talks at the old folks' home to try and liven them up and give them a bit of a fun and laughter and joke. And poor old darlings, you know, it's just shocking. And they don't have morning, afternoon teas. They have pill time. And the flipping ladies come, or the nurse comes around and hands out all these tablets at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. God bless them. These toxins are poisoning yourself and your family. But most people who don't know what's happening, now that you know, would you change what you're doing? Heavens above. What a question. Well, it's not as hard as it might sound. We're a product-focused company, of course. That's how we improve lives, produce income and grow. These products replace what you are already using, but they are nothing like you have ever seen before. This is one of the hardest problems because people just, you know, I just wish the Lord, when he made us, I wish he'd made the Lord, I wish he'd made ignorance painful. And we wouldn't have as big a problem we have today. Many companies manufacture their product down to a price. They don't make them the best that they can be made. They make products that are just good enough to get by for whatever market there's in. And that's all around the money. There's nothing around about what it's meant to be doing. And that's where they're missing the boat. That's where the Tom, Dick and Harrys haven't got a show against the three Mao family, or the three Maos. However, for Tom Mao, he's not satisfied unless he can build the products, not just better than other companies, but build a product as good as the science allows it to be made. And then the science improves, so do our products. So for the first time ever, we have an access in one place to all the best products manufactured in exacting standards using only the best ingredients with quantities that are biologically benefit to the body. How's that? Isn't that wonderful? Crikey. Because of the toxins that we absorb and the various forms of misinformation about nutrition, we invariably end up gaining more weight than we care for and usually find it hard to get rid of. We're told that if it's an inevitable part of life, in fact, we now come to see it as normal, but it doesn't have to be. But amazingly, you've only got to sit for a little time and take the average out of people and see this terrible problem of obesity. It's just unbelievable. And, you know, I'm only in Orange. It's bad enough here. I don't know what it's like in the city. It must be 10 times bad. It is now far easier to lose those extra pounds than to keep them from ever being found again. The path to better health starts with better knowledge and better nutrition, and it doesn't have to be an expensive option. In fact, using better choices and better products, it could be cheaper option. This is wonderful. This is what I really enjoy, this sort of stuff. Let me introduce the product we call Sisel Lean. It comes both with vanilla and chocolate and can be used as a weight loss meal replacement or a lean muscle building product. And it is manufactured like no other product in its category. Just by using this one product, Sisel Lean, replacing one meal a day, maybe lunch for instance, you could be saving over $2,500 per year or $211 per month. Now, I don't know if this is in American dollars, it's a hell of a lot of money. If in Australia, it's still a lot of money. That's if you average $10 per lunch, and it will be considered more healthy than what most people will have for lunch. Even if you only spend $5 on lunch, that's still the saving of $100 per month. Isn't that logic? And they're all moaning about not having enough money. Well, think about how you're spending it. By now, we're probably aware that we are not getting the nutrition we need from the food we eat. Today's farmers are not paid by the nutritional content in the strawberries or potatoes. They're paid by the size and weight of the fruit or vegetables they produce. And the cows are fed on corn, soy, and wheat instead of grass to increase their size and weight also, not their quality, but their quantity. And to me, that is one of the biggest problems we're faced today, because 90% of the food we're eating today is made of just NPK, and no molybdenum, no zinc, no iron, no calcium, no any of the other minerals, and that's where Tom's coming to the fore. But a carrot might look like a carrot, but it has far less value of food compared to only 50 years ago. Same for almost everything we eat today. Spectramax, wow. So we must too supplement our bodies with the vital nutrition it needs to fight off the effects of aging, disease and sickness. And Spectramax is the go-to product to help with the missing trace minerals and antioxidants the body needs. Because Spectramax contains 74 essential trace minerals, which are used by the body in over 2,000 biological processes. It is a megatonic loaded full of antioxidants, minerals and key vitamins. Holy moly, isn't it wonderful? Almost all ailments in the body can be traced back to the deficiency of minerals. The main problems, and most people don't know this, Sisel does, and that's why we have such a product. This is where, the difference between the three mouths and Tom, Dick and Harry. The way we eat today is like putting the wrong fuel in our car and wondering why it is not working properly, like never changing the oil and wondering why the motor stopped. At least with a car, it can be rebuilt. We're not that lucky. Although there's a lot of people running around with artificial limbs and artificial this and artificial that. Thank God I'm not going down that path. The troubled world we have in today is no place to be with a compromised immune system. Most other times we don't even consider our health and that of all others. But today it is at the forefront of everyone's existence. And why I got mycoplasma, I found out because I went to a naturopath, and my immune system was full of parasites. My body was full of parasites, and my immune system was fighting the parasites, and that allowed the mycoplasma to get into my body because I had a whole heap of living on the land and living in the bush. I picked up a few worms, and one of the reasons, but because I got onto Tom's previous company's products, they were able to overcome the parasites. They were able to knock the parasites out. And I was a pretty sick man while I was doing it, because the parasites threw everything at these wonderful products, but they won in the end. Sisel has the products to ease your concerns in our range food. Her range focused on supporting the immune system and assisting the body in fighting any bugs that want to use this as a breeding ground. And that's exactly what's happening to me. I'm proof of the pudding, and I've never felt better in my life. We are considered by the government as an essential service because of the great products we make and the major health benefits helped by those who use them. Isn't that amazing that the mouths have been able to develop a product that we can, normally the government's come down and it's not branded as an essential service like all our natural products. We can't claim anything from government for tax or anything, and all the pharmaceutical companies get all the help under the sun. You could be forgiven for thinking we just made these products for the pandemic. However, in truth, they have been in part of that product range for over 10 years now. And obviously the pandemic, people didn't realise that this was that there was something like we got in Sisel. What is new in the science of stem cell research? 10 years ago, most people had never heard of stem cells, but they are what they make you. And you know, today I've just got a good friend that's just come back from hospital, and he's had a stem cell replacement from somehow, taken a bone marrow or somewhere, and they've given this poor kid, and he's had these artificial stem cells put in, or not artificial, but they've taken from someone else and given to him. Oh, you just feel for them. Two cells come together where stem cells go to work, and 9 months later you start your journey. As we then age, the stem cells are constantly used, and like everything else, they get tired and stop working. By the time you are in your 60s, well, there are not many left working. You might have noticed that they don't heal as fast, or we look as good as when we're younger. You can blame the stem cells. You know, I said that when the science improves, so do Sisel products. Isn't this amazing? This is wonderful stuff. And I think I'm a good example. I've been on Sisel now for 139 days. I write it up in my diary every day, and I'll tell you exactly. I've got pages of what notes I've kept and what products I've taken, and I'll tell you what, I've never felt better. Well, introducing you to the age pill. What a wonderful thing. This helps the body revitalise the tired stem cells by cleaning them out and putting them back to work. Imagine an oven that has never been cleaned, and ponder how much better it would work if all the gunk was removed. How would a dryer go if the filters were never cleaned? What about a car? The oil was never changed. Well, this is what the H pill does, and there's more and more stem cells waken the body, has an increased ability to repair what is broken and aging, as long as the raw materials, you know, the correct nutrition are there. It's just common sense, really. I do wonder what keeps a lot of people's brains, ears apart, because certainly in a lot of what's going on around us today with Tom, Dick and Harry, it's not brains. Partner it with the new Stemolytic formula to give the stem cells a rocket fuel boost. Forget the finish line, we're heading back to the start. Isn't this exciting? This is the boost we need to kickstart the reversal of our ageing process. The goal there is to live a long and healthy life, and the only reason you should go to a nursing home is to visit your friend that didn't follow in your footsteps. And that's what I do. I go regularly around there, tell bush yarns. I'm known as Bob the Bushy, and I love getting them to laugh. And it's pretty hard to get some of those old people to laugh, because they're going down a very sad path. But it doesn't stop there. Sisel also caters for us in the outsiders as well as in the inside. So many people will tell you that they have used the Sisel skincare system. They'll never, and I mean never, use anything else. And I've got a dear friend in Bathurst, and she's had sunspots removed off her face and that, and she is just blown away with the results she's getting. She's never been involved in anything like it. And she's been a bit nervous because she says she couldn't do it, but I believe she can. She's got the ability and she's getting the results, and that's all we need, just a bit of encouragement. Just look at the difference a few months can make. What can it mean if your family and friends? It means financial prosperity, a better quality of life to those who embrace the Sisel system and share it with others. It will create millionaires, subsidise modern incomes, funded worthy causes, contributed to charities, and helped families avoid bankruptcies, foreclosures, and financial ruin. Holy moly, what a wonderful. It was fostered and mustered a most amazing, strongest friendship you could ever imagine among people from all walks of life and all across the globe. One family working together to do better than themselves, their health, prosperity, knowledge, and for the community as a whole. The better we can become, the more we can help others. And one is a great example is that Tom Mao Senior has never had to work another day in his life, but he created Sisel and goes to work every day so that we, in capitals, have a greater chance to help ourselves and others. How do you compare this to the old retail system? Isn't this marvellous? Just to give you a bit more of an idea of how the company puts you first, have a look at this. To reward your loyalty, as you improve your health and your wealth, every 4 months the company will provide you with products, coupons equivalent up to 8% of what you buy, and all you freight back to you if you're consistent with 750 PV or more for the entire 12 months. The person invited you to the presentation can explain more to you. That's the beauty about your upline. You know, have people that know more than you do. I'm about on the second rung of the ladder at this stage, but I want to get a bit higher. And I will get there, but because I've got a lot of wonderful people above me. Well, as they say, that's all, folks. The choice is now yours. Your health, your wealth could very well be changed for the better today if you choose to join us. What if you join to make more money and your health improves? I would say that's a win. What if you just join to improve your health or lengthen your lifespan and end up making more money as well? I'd say that's a win also, wouldn't you? Again, what you do next is up to you. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Do nothing, in which case the life continues as before, and best of luck. You're right. If you could, or you could choose to adjust your course and maybe end up living a long, vibrant life. If you prefer the option, you can try the products as a preferred customer or join us as a wholesale customer. Or you might like to generate a brand new income as a member of our team. Thank you for listening. So what interests you most? Thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you, Bob. That was wonderful. Great